Curse of the Dead Gods released on March 3rd after spending a fair bit of time in early access on PC. This roguelike dungeon crawler from developer Pastech Games attempts to imbue the three-quarter camera action title with the run-based elements of a game like Slay the Spire. An emphasis on a more deliberate form of combat helps to set it apart from the current king of the genre, Hades. How does this all come together, and are they successful in their goals? My first hour or so in the game was a tad frustrating. It wasn't difficult, as the first 3 temples are more of a tutorial that you're expected to beat rather easily. The issue was that I didn't understand how this game wanted me to play. I've been having a great time lately with Hades on PC, and the frenetic dodge-focused nature of that game is how I initially tried to play this one. The moment that I realized that Curse of the Dead Gods is a parry-first, dodge-second game, though, it clicked for me. I beat the game's initial easy mode 3 temples back to back to back and started having way more fun. The structure of the game is basic in nature. You have 3 main temples, and as you clear out each one, you earn tokens. Those tokens give you access to the next difficulty, which doubles the length of the run and adds a second boss encounter. There are 3 difficulty levels for each temple, and then 1 final temple that unlocks after you've cleared the rest. It's a brilliant design that kept me feeling both a sense of progression and challenge that left me wanting more. On top of this are several different unlocks you can earn. First up are 3 pillars of starter weapon choices, and you'll need to grind the various in-game currencies to unlock them. You start with a basic selection, and through said unlock system you gain not only 3 more choices, but those pillars can have a much wider variety of weaponry available. There are a selection of passive buffs that you can choose from, also up to 3 in total. These start out locked away like the rest, but it is easy to start getting access to them after a run or 2. The weapon drops are also randomized, and you can also unlock more items and different variants to help create a dream build. And finally, there are the Divine Favors to unlock. The Divine Favors allow you to cycle through those random choices during runs several times to try and get exactly what you're looking for. Your run through each temple is very much a Slay the Spire style, where you have branching paths that you choose from, and the main resource available in each one is either clearly defined or left as a mysterious question mark. I love this system and the choices it represents, and I was glad to see it used here to great effect. There isn't much story to the game. It's essentially that you're looking for ancient treasures, and instead of getting those, you are cursed into forever running through a gauntlet of deadly temples. It's basic, and it works fine. Not every game is going to have the writing and voice acting chops of something like Hades, and they don't need to. To try and accomplish this goal, you have 3 main weapons. Map to X is your main attack, Y, secondary, and B, an unlockable heavy or 2-hand weapon. The A button is used for your torch and is key, as by default you will take 50% more damage whenever you're in the darkness. There are various pillars stationed in each procedurally generated level for you to light, and whacking an enemy with your torch helps keep the area aglow in a pinch. There is good variety to the weapon types as you slowly unlock them, with a personal favorite of mine being a gigantic hammer that had a chance to strike lightning with every attack. There are daggers, axes, maces, shields, pistols, bows, spears, hammers, and more available with various random buffs or set damage types that help you craft a build focusing on, say, poison, fire, or lightning attacks. The system works well, though at times I repeatedly got drops that didn't go well together, and it could lead to some pretty major frustration. As stated previously, every part of combat in this game is deliberate. The right trigger is a dodge, but the left trigger is used to parry, and both are tied to the stamina meter. Every charged attack, finisher, or dodge is tied to that stamina meter, and certain passives can either raise or lower how many charges it has. Parrying helps refill your meter quickly, and once you've mastered the timing of enemy attacks, it becomes key to keeping the flow of your movement and potential damage of your attacks as high as possible. Parrying can also stun enemies, and when 5 or 6 hard hitters are surrounding you, this becomes rather important. Relics, which offer various stat boosts and passive abilities, are matched with the most unique part of the game, the curses. As you progress through each run, you slowly but surely build up a corruption meter. Every 100 corruption earns you a curse, which in a monkey paw-like fashion has a positive and a negative effect. The first 4 do, at least. Curse number 5 is something generally horrible, and you will want to do everything you can to avoid reaching it. The mechanic isn't a huge deal in the early runs, but as the runs become 2 or 3 times longer, managing that corruption meter becomes key. The main ways to remove corruption are to sacrifice new drops to the gods or beat bosses, which removes one curse entirely. This mechanic helps balance out the fact that your character has a surprisingly large health pool. I greatly prefer this style of increasing difficulty over making damage avoidance so key. You also gain corruption from certain enemy attacks, which are denoted in general by a hazy purple smoke effect. Graphically, the game looks nice, if not a bit generic. The enemy design's okay. Weapons look pretty good, and the sound effects are solid. The game uses an in-house engine called the O engine, and for me on Xbox Series X, it looked sharp and ran at what felt like a locked 60 frames per second, no matter how frantic or explosive-filled the action became on screen. In conclusion, Curse of the Dead Gods is a solid title for fans of roguelikes and dungeon crawlers. An excellent progression system is tied to damned fun combat. And retailing for only $20 US, it is an easy recommendation. As it is a Focus Home interactive game, I wouldn't be shocked in the future if it does hit Game Pass. The time in early access has really paid off, and you would do well to try this game out for yourself. Curse of the Dead Gods is available on the Xbox and PlayStation consoles, along with Nintendo Switch, and for Windows on PC. Thank you for watching, guys, and please like, comment, and subscribe, and if you do subscribe, please tick that little bell so you get a notification whenever we post. And we'll see you here next time on XboxEra.